Thank you very much. My name is Tojene Muhire, and I am group coordinator of this group. In this group, we are just assigned to work on the project which is called Culture Dinner Party, where we are going just to explore different cultures in different corners of the world. And these cultures just obviously it is referring to the parties, how people just behaves during their parties. So I was just assigned to work on the culture of Tinglik portraits and tailgaters. So let me give the floor to others in order just to introduce what they are just supposed to work on.
Thank you so much. My name is Yvonne Nyanshuti. I'm a student from Southern Hampshire University, the Cape program. Also, I'm a part of this group. I was currently working on two cultures, one of Japan's rice and also and Hawaiian koi as well as my culture.
Thank you so much. My name is Damascene Namutsa, a student at Southern Hampshire University. As I'm a member of this group, I was supposed to work on two culture and additionally my culture. So one culture is called Hindu wedding food. I was supposed to work on food which is in Hindu wedding food. Okay. And I was supposed just to work on Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. So to move forward, I can welcome to progress. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Namutsa Damascene. And as I told you, I was group coordinator, and I was just assigned to work on Tinglik portraits, even also on tailgaters. First of all, let me start on tailgaters. Obviously, tailgaters, it was group of people, or it was people even almost like citizens. They had a culture of just having some fun when their team was going just to meet with another team, and this culture have just already emerged on 1869, where it was used by in college in United States, and also the first time it was just emerged in United States was played by law teachers, even like versus Princeton. Also, this is the culture which was familiar, just experienced by fans, where they used just to have some fans by drinking, dancing, eating, tracking some vehicles. It was just to make their team just feeling like they are with them, even though they are not just supposed to play in the playground. So you can ask yourself, what was the symbolization of just having drink, of just eat, or even just tracking the vehicles? So according to tailgaters, they thought that like fans, they are paying much contribution in they are participating with their team, even though they are not one in the playground just to play. So reason why they first take food, drinking, dancing, having some fun, in order just to make their players very impressed, for just to destinate into the victory. So let me proceed to the second culture. It was Tinglik portraits. On Tinglik portraits, this is the culture which have been experienced by the part of United States in Northwest, near Alaska, and in this culture they used just also they used just to have feasting. Feasting, obviously, it is somehow to have a huge amount of food and just inviting friends, neighbors, just to sharing food together. So anytime in their family there was someone who lost person or someone who passed away, and they used just to give gifts, even singing, even having some speeches through different invited neighbors, and also they used just to have drink. So in their culture, they thought that to have that such kind of drink, even eating, they are paying much contribution, or just they want to show that the family who lost some person that they are together, even though they are in a pregnant moment. So by ending these cultures, I'm going to introduce my self culture. I try to commit with my grandma. I had a confusion about in our clan. I am in a Masis clan, where we used just to have drink once our person passed away. So it was the common question that I used to ask myself all the time. And she told me that reason why they used to have drink or just giving some gifts to the families that lost person is just to show them they are with them, without just supporting the family to not belonging with sorrow and having drinks like sorghum beer, etc. So she told me that the reason why they used to have drinks is just to show that they are together with the family who lost their person. So I can go on by introducing some commonalities, or in other words similarities. The similarities that I found my culture meet with other cultures is that they used to drink even eating. So in my culture, when we lose someone, we used to drink. Even on tailgaters, even though it is not in a case of just losing someone, but by just experiencing some fun, they used to drink. So according to the difference, I found that on Tengeta and on Chinglit portrages, they used to give gifts on the family that lost person, and that family also they pay back some gifts. But in our family, it is not the same, because once we give some gifts to the family that lost their person, that family not just paying back to the gift that we brought them. So, and they do not just doing that in order just to have some higher status. So it was all about my assigned cultures. I can invite others to keep going on to the different cultures. Thank you very much.
So I'm sorry, Tojian, before we progress, I have a question.
Yeah.
So when maybe person can pass over and people come singing, eating and drinking. So what is the importance of those people? They may come and then sing. What helped you? Maybe I can say the importance of those people drinking. The importance. I need the importance.
Okay, thank you very much. As I have introduced, even though they used just to take drink, but it is different cultures. They take a drink just because of different reasons. I can give you an example like tailgaters. They take a drink or even dancing just because their team is going to commit with another team in order just to show players that they are together in that moment, right? But on team-lit portraits, they used to drink, even dancing, even though they can lose someone, but it is in charge of just showing that families they are together no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. By proceeding, me also, I worked on two cultures. First one, as I said, it was Japanese rice. First of all, Japan is a country which have different islands. First one was Hokkaido, Honshu, and others. And in that culture, something that I found that is something that have a big role in the culture. I have just researched about the rice in Japan. I just started seeing what is the what can Japan mean about the rice. I found that Japan have a good significance. The rice have a big significance in Japanese culture. I found that that rice is used as a symbol of currency. And all of us, as you know, if you see the currency or the money of Japan, they use to show the currency. That means that if the Japan use rice, it's like a symbol of culture there. It seems that when they share that rice, it means like having a vision in agriculture. Also, I found that the places or the moment where they like to use that rice, I found that they mostly use rice while they are in ceremonies like weddings. Also, they use rice in the times that they are in a ceremony of someone who have died, also in the birth of children. And moving forward, I have worked on Hawaiian koi. Hawaiian koi is a food which eaten by Hawaiian people. Also, by making more research about Hawaiian koi, I found that koi is a food which came from a taro plant. That taro plant is a plant which grows somewhere. There was a child who taken birth in the family which was poor, and that child was like prematurity. At that time, that child deaf. At that time, after being deaf, at her grave, it grows like that plant. That plant was called koi. So at that time, the Hawaiian people take that koi and pound it. Also, that plant also comes into koi. For the Hawaiian people, the reason why they used to eat koi, koi is something which symbolizes like spirituality, or is something which means their ancestors or inheritance, because that taro was a plant which comes from like on the grave or fertilized by the body of their ancestors. So that's why they use it. The place where they mostly use koi, they also use koi at the time while they sit together, while they are remembering their ancestors. Also while they are praising their Lord, at that time they used to share koi. Moving forward, I'm going to talk about my own culture. My own culture, I came from Banyamulenge culture. Why I wanted to know more about our culture, I approached my grandmother because I saw that I didn't know some of them, but I don't know more of them. So I approached her. First of all, I come and tell her, "Hey mother," he said, "Hey my granddaughter." At that time, I had many questions to ask her because I didn't get a chance to grow up while I was with my relatives. So at that time, I approached her. First of all, I asked her, what is Banyamulenge culture like? She told me that, oh my granddaughter, Banyamulenge culture are the people who like to pray, are the people who like to sing. Always you found them in their night concert. Also, she told me that, my dear Banyamulenge culture are the people who used to marry each other. Also, she told me that if a boy or a girl of Banyamulenge get married in other culture, she or he used to be rejected in the family. Also, she told me that during the weddings and ceremonies of Banyamulenge, they used to have cows as an exchange or a gift of the family. Which means that I asked her, oh grandmother, why do they use cattle or not money? She told me that the reason why they use cattle is like a symbol of wealth in Banyamulenge culture. At that time, I was more curious because I asked her, grandmother, you have already told me about the wedding ceremonies and different things, but as I asked her, what is the basic meal or kind of food they use in Banyamulenge culture? So my grandmother told me that Banyamulenge culture, they used maize flour maize bread, sorry, as well as milk. At that time, I asked her, what do they mean? What do these meals mean in the Wanyamulenge culture? So she told me that those bread meal. She told me that that kind of food, milk and also sour bread. She told me that those things are the things which used as a sign of enjoyment in Wanyamulenge culture. And also because she told me that Wanyamulenge are the people who like cultivation. So if they share that maize bread and also milk, which they call busomera, if they do that, is something which very joyful in Wanyamulenge culture, and also which shows that the Wanyamulenge culture have unity and also they are health. So moving forward, I have just, because I have already seen other cultures from Hawaiian, Japanese, I try to ask myself what can be the difference between those cultures, what can be the similarity. At that time, I found the differences that they have. Wanyamulenge culture used maize bread as well as milk as the way of showing the unity they have, as the way of having enjoyment among them. But in Hawaiian, they use that koi as a way of remembering their ancestors or their inheritance. But and also I found that in Japanese they used that rice as the way of showing their currency. But furthermore, I found that their similarities is that both of them they used all this food as a way of joining different people or joining themselves. Also, more coming up on that food. Also in Wanyamulenge culture, they use that milk and maize as way of showing that they have cattle, they like the cattle in their culture. Also, they are cultivators. But in Japanese also, that similarity that Japanese have with Wanyamulenge. Wanyamulenge are the agricultural people or farmers. Also the Japanese people, because they use that rice as a way of showing that they can cultivate more. So I think it's all of that I worked on.
Okay, thank you very much, Ivone. I'm really impressed by the way you expressed all those cultures as your own culture. But I got a question. I've asked myself, you've been just talking about the koi, Hawaii koi, but I did not realize if it is something, if they use it when they are drinking or they are eating. Is it used for drinking or is it used for eating?
Thank you so much. Koi was used when they were eating.
Yeah. Do you want to mean something eating?
Yes, it's like that maize bread.
Yeah,
It was eaten as maize bread.
Sure.
Okay, thank you so much. As I said, my name is Donatien Namza, a student at Safenham University. So in this group, I'm a member of this group, and I was assigned to work on Hindu wedding food and the Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. Exactly, I can start by Hindu wedding food. Hindu wedding food, just Hindu wedding food. Exactly, you can understand from Hindus in India, and when they are in wedding, they use food. So those food, when they are going just to celebrate, maybe when there is a ceremony, they have food which are being used mostly. So in their wedding, so when they are preparing the food, so they like the family from bride are the one who prepare those foods. So and in this this culture, just they like to use rice, and they like to use coconut, okay, and each food and each seed just symbolize its meaning. So we may start by saying the meaning, the symbolization of coconut. So first of all, this coconut handed to a girl in her hands, and this coconut it is symbolizing prosperity. Okay? And we can also proceed to the symbolization of life. So life is symbolizing fertility. Okay, so this is in this ceremony, they do it as just wishing a new couple just to have blessing in their life. Okay, so moving forward, we can proceed to another culture I worked on in Pennsylvania, Dutch cuisine. They have also food just they use, and those food are being used while they are starting the new year. Okay, so they use pot and cabbage, and so every food symbolizes its meaning. So we may start by pot. So pot, it's like the meat they likely to use, they eat, and this food is symbolizing lucky in their new year. So as I said, they eat while they are starting the new year. Okay? And this is symbolizing a blessing, going forward, not backing one. Okay. So also I can tell you about cabbage. So they really like cabbage when they are eating the food, which is when they are starting new year. So they eat those cabbages, and those cabbages they eat as a symbol of also having lucky and having much money, because they believe that those cabbage it's green and it's like a money. Okay? And they believe that if you eat that kind of cabbage, they will get much money in that year. Okay? Moving forward to my culture, which is called our Nyamasisi culture. So our Nyamasisi culture, they have in their culture, they really like to use cassava bread. They really like milk. Also, they really like beans and cabbage. Also, they really like sweet potato. So we can talk about everything sequentially. So we may start by first of all, let me tell you how I got the method information about this kind of food. So I approached to my mother, and I asked her why do they like to use maize flour and milk, and they say that in their ceremony, in the ceremony, exactly, I'm included in our ceremony. So we really like to use maize flour and milk, and they give them to a new family, a couple, just by symbolizing a right in their family. Both of them are white, so they have white color, and they say they believe that white color symbolizes life. So there is no any conflict in their family. In addition, also I can say about milk. Also, they believe that when you have a milk, you will not miss what to give guests to your home. So it means that if you have maize bread and milk, so you will not just they symbolize that you will not pass on the hand of your husband or your wife, such as another person. Okay? So moving forward, I asked also why do they like to use cabbages. So they say that I asked my mom also. She said that we like to use this because it helps us in our life because it contains proteins. They say that we believe that they say that they believe in those cabbages and the beans that they bring they bring vitamin, and these vitamin can help the body. Also, moving forward, they said I asked my father where I was asking him why I found them liking sweet potatoes. So in our culture, I found that sweet potatoes are really liked by everyone, but especially those people who are called men, boys, because they believe that consuming those sweet potatoes, okay, so symbolize that it means that you will have stamina, okay, of searching food, building shelters, looking after cow. So means it will provide them a fitness, exactly. So we may talk about similarities and differences. So similarities between Hindu wedding food and the Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. I found that both they have food that have the symbolization. So as we have seen that coconut symbolizing prosperity, lice it is symbolizing fertility. Also, I have found that they have also that Pennsylvania, they believe that pork and cabbage also they have their meanings or symbolization. That is similarities. Also, they have also differences. So each culture they have food they like and their meanings. That is differences. Also in my culture, also they have similarities. As I said, that we have food which are symbolizing its meaning, their meanings, as in other culture have food which is symbolizing their meanings. Also, they have differences where in my culture I mentioned the beans, where in other culture there is no beans. So exactly, it's all about my culture and two cultures apart. Thank you so much. If there is any question, anybody can ask.
Yeah, thank you so much. In your culture, thank you so much. I said that you told us that in your culture you like potatoes, sweet potatoes, as well as cassava, and especially told me that in the weddings, in different ceremonies, if I had well. So, is it because in the wedding there are many people, or is it because it's your uniqueness in your culture that is there?
Well, thank you so much. It's not many people in our wedding or any ceremony. It's our culture that in any ceremony we can't miss cassava. Maize bread and milk. We can't miss. Though there are many people, a few people. Yeah. So, but I have a question before the culture. So you came to say that when a person from your family gets married to another culture, reject him or her. Can you explain please?
Yeah, thank you so much. As I say, in our culture, the reason why we used to do that, as you know, in the family there are different conflicts. At that time, in our culture, when you meet someone from our culture, if that conflict comes, the parents, both parents, a girl parent and a husband, parents, they used to join the family. And that way, if you realize way, in your Nyamulenge culture, it is impossible to see a girl who dropped out the family. The family used to do that. But if they got married in another culture, they have their own values, which is not the same as the Nyamulenge. Yeah, that's why.
Okay.